SFL action continues with us tonight as we are live here in the Seven Fires Temple in the great city of Sin. Welcome to week 13 in the Simulation Football League here in the Virtual Football Network. Tonight, the 4-4 Sin City Samurai host the defending champs, the Mexico City Aztecs, who themselves boast a hot 7-2 record. Pretty warm tonight, currently 81 degrees with a forecast of clear skies. But as always, folks, my forecast for tonight is going to be an epic showdown between two juggernauts of the league. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Mark Lopez, and I will be joined by the fantastic Jesse Long here to provide analysis. Hope you're having a great night so far, Jesse. What would be your keys to victory for either of these teams tonight?
It's going to be all about game planning and trying to not allow this Mexico City squad to use every single weapon they have and use every dimension they have. Try to slow down the run game if you can. Try to slow down the pass game if you can. If you let this Mexico City squad do whatever they want, it's going to be a long, long day. And by the way, I'm liking those throwbacks Mexico City's rocking tonight here in the Sin City.
They are rocking their Las Vegas throwbacks in memory of the 5 members of their team that they currently have, who are formerly from the Las Vegas Fury. And it's now their first time back here in Las Vegas in Sin City, so wearing those uniforms to show who is boss, as they will get the ball first here on offense. Rochelle Colston and Ron Haynes are going to be in their stats truck, and as always, SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine is going to be pushing the buttons and producing the show for us. So 1st and 10 for Mexico City at their 20-yard line. They line up in a doubles set, pitch to their right side to their running back, and they pick up 5 yards. Let us introduce you to this offense of Mexico City. That was the pitch to the running back Jacob Morrison, the other running back Ray Bentley and Buford Van Dam, quarterback Jordan Sipe, wide receiver Jason Bartley, Honus Adobe, Noe Terrazas, and Jared Dumas. Tight end is Bill Henry. Gonna introduce the rest of the offense in a second here as they line up in heavy, but Sipe will throw, and Sipe will throw an incompletion as that is well defended. But we get a flag on the play here. Get a personal foul on defense, roughing the passer. As
you're not going to get away with that one. Yeah, no kidding. If you're going to get them, you got to get them right. And whoo, that was a hit. And unfortunately, Mexico City is going to get a first down out of it for that Sin City defense. Play him tight, but play him right.
They do play him tight there, but unfortunately too tight, as that gives him a free first down for Mexico. Now at their 40-yard line, they're going to motion, I believe that is Terrazas, yes, from left to right, overloading that side of the field. Jesse might throw it that way, but instead they hand off to the weak side, a gain of 3 yards. The offensive line of Mexico City, they have Ovayanda, Sitlamina Ocelotl, Greg Forrest, Latuani Supremo, and Ogden Foundy. So back on the field, 2nd and 7 for Mexico City. High spread offset fullback to the strong side. It could run or pass out of this formation. Take a look by Sin City. It's going to be a handoff down the middle. Great defense by Sin City and forcing a 2-yard loss in attack.
Yeah, Gary Clem says, no way, Jose. It might not be safe to go back in that water, and if he keeps controlling the line of scrimmage like that, they're going to need a bigger boat.
3rd and 9, first 3rd and long test here for Jordan Sipe and his passing prowess. He's going to step back, looking for a target downfield. Will throw to the left side and incomplete, as defenders were in the vicinity to make that pass an incompletion.
And if you're Ramos Lynn, you're scratching your head on that, because that was a great pickup on that heavy blitz, but he just threw it right at King Jamal and should be very grateful that was not an interception.
Speaking of interceptions, Jordan Sipe has thrown 9 interceptions in the last 4 games alone, Jesse. To go with only 2 touchdowns in that span. This ball will be returned to the 24-yard line. Probably another key to victory will be whether Jordan Sipe can protect possession of the ball and not throw it away to Sin City, who themselves are top 6 in interceptions. Their offense is on the field now, as we take a look at Scar Patterson, the quarterback. Running backs are Hubby Kimbrell, Robert Johnson, and Logan Lee. Fullback Chevy Montecarlo. Wide receivers Elliott Pope Jr., Kenny Hendrickson, Al Dillapre Sr., and the tight ends Talon Steele, Talia Bobby. Offensive line, they have LL Volt, Jackson Burrito, Rose Steele, and Adam Chance. 1st and 10 at their 24-yard line as they move one of the receivers to the left side. Rollout by Patterson. He's going to throw and overthrows the receiver as there were several defenders in coverage.
And he was here in the footsteps of John Osiris, and it looked like he just had no choice but to throw it away. Very good pass rush by Mexico City's defense.
Both teams now forcing one incompletion each against the opposing quarterback. Scar Patterson under center again in 2nd and 10 here. 8 defenders on the box. Rolling out again is Scar Patterson. He throws to the right side, and oh no! The defender couldn't make the deflection, but the pass is still incomplete, dropped by the receiver.
And very uncharacteristic of Al Dillapre Sr. this year, having an all-star caliber season. And, you know, you've got to make those catches when they show up in your hands like that.
Get one more chance to get here to convert on the passing play potentially. Of course, Al Dillapre Sr. is still out there to be a big-time playmaker. Rolling out is Scar Patterson for the 3rd time in a row. Will throw down the middle of the field, and that is incomplete. Trying to find number 17, Al Dillapre Sr., who is once again not able to make a catch.
And this is where Joshua Durr knows, as a head coach, you got to go in there, you got to tell these guys, hey, let's calm down, relax, right? Let's have some fun out there. Yes, I know they're the big bad wolf, but we're big and bad too, and we can beat them. And this is our house.
So the Samurai punt the ball back, give it back to the Aztecs. It's an interesting matchup of team logos, Jesse. A Samurai versus an Aztec. 2 warriors, essentially. And it's going to be interesting which warrior comes out on top tonight.
Oh, for sure. And you know, the only time you're going to see a tie in the SFL is during a speech at one of the conventions, because we play until there's a winner in this business.
Definitely. Mexico City, very familiar with that, being in a bunch of close games this season. Here's the pitch to the outside. Bentley will pick up a 1st down in one play as he breaks through several defenders.
You know, Ray Bentley, he might be misnamed. It should really be more like Ray Abrams, like an Abrams tank. Like, he just keeps going and going and going. He just grinds his way. He runs like he hates the turf.
He definitely does hate a defender and just shoves them aside, breaking those tackles. It sets them up in the territory of Sin City. And on 1st down, the handoff to Jacob Morrison goes for only 3 yards.
Jacob Morrison's no slouch either. He's averaging 3.1 carry. He's got 236 on the season this as well. So he's definitely no slouch back there either.
Heavy look by Jordan Sapp and company. They gave it to the fullback as Buford Van Dam will pick up another 3 yards, they say.
Yeah, and that's really the only thing you can do. Like, you got to hit them with everything you have. These battle tanks. One linebacker isn't going to do it, so luckily they were able to swarm the ball and take down the Mastodon by force.
Bentley back in the backfield, but he got 3 wide receivers for sight. Like, he's going to give it, run down the backfield, down the middle. That goes for only 3 yards, 1 yard short of the 1st down. Could you go for it here, Jesse?
You know, do I go for it here? No, it's too soon. But then again, you know, I don't get paid to make these decisions, and I'm not the one that has to stand in front of the firing squad if it doesn't work out.
I do agree with you, Jesse, as they decide to punt the ball. This would have been a 53-yard field goal if they decided to kick it. Instead, they punt it back, and Sin City not deciding to fair catch it means the returner gets a huge hit. They're going to start back on their 18-yard line, so the Mexico City defense roll out into the field. Their defense has Teron Yates IV, Skylar Kingsley, Chance Wall, and Dan Tritz on the defensive line. Linebackers are John Fowler, Colton Yulia, John Osiris. Quarterbacks Jared Brody, Miranda Dumas, Liam Ryan, Merrick Itera, and the safeties are Jeffrey Taggs and Max Jacks. 1st and 10 at their 18-yard lines. Scar Patterson will roll out for the 4th time in 4 pass attempts. He throws across his body. Another incomplete pass, 0 for 4 to start the ball game, Jesse.
And Joshua Durr's tea kettle is starting to whistle a little bit here. Great blitz pickups is giving Scar Patterson plenty of time to make these accurate throws, and they're not happening. Maybe there's a miscommunication or what, but he's 0 for 4, and he really shouldn't be right now.
So Coach Durr now calls up a 2 tight end play. It's a play action on a rollout. Scar Patterson finally completes on his 5th catch of the ball game. That is to his receiver, his tight end Talon Steele, who continues his great season so far.
And he's moving up in the pop charts. He was 591 on the season going into this game. And that's what you need to have. It's like when you're a shooter in basketball and you're missing. You tell them, hey, just make one. Once you make one shot, just like that, you're hot again.
See if that hot streak will ever start or continue. They go with a pitch play, their first run play of the ball game here, as they have been a mostly passing game in 2 of their last 3 weeks.
A lot of people compare football to chess, but the thing is, in chess, if I take the piece, I can just take it. But sometimes, you can just run into Max Jackson, and it just ain't going to work out like that, is it?
As they say, everyone's got a plan until somebody punches you in the mouth. Fortunately,
yes.
Max Jackson didn't actually punch the guy. He just, tackles him to the turf. So 2nd and 8 here. I'm going to guess you were saying it was technically a punch in the mouth, but how about Sin City punching back with another completion by Scar Patterson? Shrugs off 4 straight incompletions to now throw 2 straight completions.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Cut inside to the left, and he knew that he was going to get stuck by Merrick Itera. Merrick Itera is no slouch. 16 seasons in the business, 4 of them as an all-star.
Absolutely.
Great catch.
Great catch. Great player for this franchise and this team. They're going to throw again here. Scar Patterson finds a man again to number 47. To number 17, Al Delapre Sr. This time makes a catch.
And Al Delapre Sr. shows how good it can be to be shifty. Right, that good phone booth style movement. Look at the catch here, and then just a nice, clever little move right there. Just the transitioning, taking it from one side of the conveyor belt to the other, from the cart into the hand basket, and just moving it to get a couple more yards after the catch.
How about Talon Steele in that replay, providing a downfield block, all 6'7", 263 of his frame. In front of Al Delapre Sr. 1st and 10 now. Rolling out is Scar Patterson again. Throws downfield, middle of the field, complete and caught. And this offensive drive is starting to pick up fire.
DJ's in the chat and mentioned that it's more like a chess boxing hybrid. And I'd have to say that that's a very accurate statement of the physicality of this game so far. That catch, boom, and the stick. Jackson, Daggs, and Itera, I was talking to Max Jackson earlier, and he said that they were ready to play ball against this team because they've got great playmakers on the other side. And despite the success they've had in the last 2 seasons, any week, it's always up for grabs.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that one. Any player and any team can just be the spark that gets them the win. Handoff down the middle. A 5-yard gain. We haven't heard from Lee much even in the last game. Logan Lee only had 3 carries in the night.
And there's something about this rushing game right now that they're picking their spots with it. You run the ball to make them respect the pass so you can set up those passes.
2nd and 5 now. Heavy look by Scar Patterson and company. Kimbrell in the backfield for Sin City. They're going to motion their tight end from the right to left. Perhaps a chance to pitch it that side. They're going to run to that side of the offensive line, but a great gang of tacklers bringing down the running back. Hubba Kimbrell gets 0 yards.
Jeffrey Dagg showing you why he's a Hall of Famer. Free safeties, they always tell you they're not run support guys. And Jeffrey Dagg says, I'm not like those other guys.
Definitely not one of them being a Hall of Famer and all. Here's Patterson to try to convert on third down. He gets it all in one play. 6 on the board for Patterson, provided to you by Al Delapre Sr. on the receiving end.
Just what a pretty ball through the seam, right? And just look at it inside, right in the bread basket, the inside route. And that was just the perfect place to put it. And you don't have to put the mustard bottle on the ground and stomp on it. You just got to add a little bit of touch. That was a beautiful dime by Scar Patterson.
Gary Hendricks with the reception right there, picking up his 3rd of the season. And that is touchdown number 10 as Patterson finally breaks through the 2-digit mark of touchdowns in the season. Has 16 interceptions to go for it, so still working on the interception rate, but at least in this drive, Jesse showing that he can throw it and he can throw it accurately.
Hey, you ain't kidding. And the only stat that matters right now is the points on that board.
Mexico City will receive the kickoff in their end zone and brought up all the way to their 24-yard line, and this means we get a second look at Sin City's defense, starring Gary Burney, Mike All, Big Snacks. On the defensive line, on their linebacker crew, they got Mark Gronick, J. Mark, Zach Benjamin, and Gary Clem. Cornerbacks are Evan Lacey, Terrence Pearson, and Joshua Durr. And their free safety and strong safety are Kanye Rockefeller and King Jamal. So now 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. They run handoff to the middle to, again, Bentley, 2-yard gain.
And the moment they come off the ball, that offensive line just gets stopped right in their tracks. Allows J. Mark to come in and make the tackle. J. Mark right here, 11 tackles for loss to go to 64 tackles on the season.
Playing a very high level of defense for this Mexico City team, who have been pretty efficient. 5th best in scoring defense. Max Jackson, a big part of that. Handoff again to Bentley. He's going to push the yardage up by 4 more yards.
You know, it's a law of averages, right? You hit a fly ball, you're out. You hit a grounder, you're out. And then suddenly you get a double or even a triple. And Ray Bentley right there, they just pick up an easy 7 yards on that run.
3rd and 3, we might see a Jordan Sipes sneak. We do, and he's going to get a first down. What a play by this Mexico City. We know how good that play is for them, and they go back to it in this play.
And Mark, when you can I get the winning lottery numbers and who to pick up on the waiver wire?
I'll give you the weather for the next 2 months as well.
Deal.
We're going to start with a pitch here, another set of first downs. So Bentley spins out of 1 tackle, and this guy seems unstoppable this play.
Bentley, he just does it all. You know, he hits for power, but sometimes he can also move for, look at that. Shoulder contact just slides and dances off of him with the debonair of a running back Fred Astaire.
He has been known to have fathered many of the defensive player in this team or in this league, being as how much he regularly destroys them on his broken tackles.
And I bet they're all great dancers too.
I mean, yeah, his footwork probably gonna pass down those footwork genes. That nice short pass by Jordan Sipes. He picks up 4 yards. Completion to that's Noah Terrazas. He picks up his first catch of the evening.
Noah Terrazas, first of what hopefully will be many. It's definitely been many on the season. 35 so far.
High Twins look here. They're gonna hand it off. Can Bentley get anywhere? Bentley goes nowhere. A loss of 2, they say.
Well, that Sin City Samurai defensive line, Bernie, All, Snacks, they just crushed them right at the point of attack. And there were just too many bodies, and they just couldn't get around the trash. And Ray Bentley tried to jump for it, if you know how he is, but just couldn't get anywhere with it.
But we could get to the end of this first quarter. It is 7-0. Sin City able to stave off the Mexico City offense so far, but still the ball possession is still with Mexico City. You are watching the Simulation Football League here in the virtual network. Aerial coverage of today's game brought to you by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. As we take a look at the beautiful Las Vegas Strip here from one of his drones, we're gonna potentially have a look at the blimp sometime in this ball game, maybe. That's also brought to you by Dags DroneWorks.
That truly is a beautiful shot, too.
Beautiful shot of Las Vegas. We'll see if Sin City can have a beautiful shot against Type, who will throw to the right side. Incomplete. The defense once again force a 4th down and force another punt against Mexico City.
Yeah, I know what we're going to say. It hit his hands, but King Jamal was, up in his breath, up in his grill, reading the exact size on the back of his jersey on the tag. Like, that was a hard catch to make.
Made it difficult by the defenders of Sin City. Jesse, we talked about how they're the 6th most in terms of interceptions. And one game of memory to note is against the DC Dragons, where they came away with, I believe, 4 interceptions against the quarterback Shabazz Synergy, who himself is one of the top playing at an all-star level, and they got those interceptions against them.
Well, that was one of the things that started to really inspire them. Handing DC their first loss of the season really inspired them to get cooking like they are right now.
They are winners of 4 of their last 5. They're going to pitch to the outside. Logan Lee had to strangle with 2 defenders, gets brought down by the 3rd and 4th, picking up 2 yards.
Well, this is where special teams is really helping out Mexico City, because when you are so tightly back to that line, you can put a lot more beef up at the front line and really control that line of scrimmage a lot better and force them into different situations.
Weak side run here. They're giving this to Kimball. Or no, they're giving it to Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson picks up, I'd say, 4 yards, and it's 3rd and media.
And this is a statement drive for them. The last drive, 16 pass, TD for 16, and they move the ball 82 yards and 9 plays. So to shut them down here on 3rd and 5 in this part of the field can be huge for them.
So 3rd and 5, rolling out. Patterson throws against his body again, but he's going to complete this time. The amount of times he has rolled out early on didn't work, but has been working really well more recently.
Well, you can get him to 3rd and 5, but then you got to get him at 3rd and 5. Look at the hand checking here, just really, and the good throws. That's what's making it happen. You can make a good pass out of tough coverage as long as you put in a good throw, and Scar Patterson did exactly that, and he's been doing that, especially lately.
Itera on coverage. Still 0 interceptions to his name this season, 5 pass deflections. So now 1st and 10 for Sin City at their 22-yard line. They give it back to Logan Lee, who's going to pick up 1 yard. That felt like more than a yard, Jesse.
Yeah, it did feel like more than a yard. Kicked it back outside. It looked like he ran nearly 10 in order to get it. And you have to be able to get into the 2nd level from that 1st level, your offensive line getting you that push. You can break the 1st tackle, but there's just too many defenders hunting in packs to get any further.
Play, action, fake to throw. Scar Patterson. Oh, had a man, but the pass was just broken up. Talon still couldn't come away with it.
It was, and I'd love to get the number on the truck that hit him, because as soon as he had his hands on it, that's what you do as a defensive back. You always follow the play through. It's never over until the ref blows the whistle. So once you see that ball hit his hands, stick him and hit him as good as you can.
3rd and 9, another 3rd and long here for Scar Patterson, and another rollout. Good pass protection. Pass deflected and incomplete. There were defenders, white uniforms, in the way of the deflected ball, but couldn't pick it off.
Merrick Itera in the right place at the right time, and this Sin City team has to be very grateful that once again they didn't capitalize on their mistakes here. Josh Rador is going to have to cool his quarterback down, get him calm, say, remember that drive where we scored? Let's see that happen again.
Mexico City will take it and return it to their 41-yard line. Probably a 3-yard punt return net. But they're back on the field. Another chance to push down the field for points. Any adjustments you'd like to see for them, Justin?
Well, what I'd like to see here is just stay committed to that running game. Keep running the football, because you are eventually going to get them to creep closer and closer and closer, and you will get them over the top. They have so many weapons.
Look at this all-out blitz by Sin City as Mexico City runs weak side. It's a 1-yard gain after a good tackle.
Jay Mart with another tackle for loss. I'm telling you, he must be hearing me going, oh, So run the ball with Ray Bentley. All right. Okay. Let's see what happens.
It is a pretty good game plan, Jesse. Just give it to Bentley. But they're going to throw it this time out of the triple. Look, deflected. There were two hands, two mitts in the ball, but number 30, Joshua Dirk couldn't come away with his sixth pick of the season.
And it was just one of those things where, okay, it's like a bang-bang play. All right, as soon as you get the ball, you know where it's going to go, and if the timing of the step is right, it's there. But there were just so many bodies around, it just never happened.
So third and long again for Jordan Side. He's going to throw. Deep step back. Throws to the left. Incomplete. Pass broken up as that was number 87, Jared Dumas, unable to complete a pass under duress, hit by the defender.
You know, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I am seeing a lot of cases of the dropsies this evening. There's a lot of passes that I'm seeing, receivers that are capable of making those plays, and they're just letting them fall harmlessly to the ground.
And it's not reflecting well on the quarterbacks. It seems that he will return to their 25-yard line. As a result of those drops, Jesse, Jordan Sipe is now 1 for 5. That's only a 20% completion rate. And Scar Patterson, a little better at 6 for 12 for the evening so far. But in their 5 prior games, get this, he has thrown for 60+% completion rate in all of the last 5 games, including 2 77% completion rate games. We'll see if his numbers tonight get any better than the 50% where it's at right now, as he's going to start with a pitch to Logan Lee. Oh, he has Lazarou to the right side. Breaks one tackle, will be pushed out of bounds. That's the kind of running that they want. That's not Logan Lee. That's Robert Johnson with a huge run.
And you just need one play. Look at the blocking right here at the first level, get into the second, and then get all that extra credit. And that's what you want to see happen. That's the kind of play that immediately gets the crowd back into the action. And that's going to inspire this team to start really moving the ball down the field. When they scored on that drive, they were moving the ball at will and with alacrity and in big chunks.
Alacrity. I like that word. Especially how we describe that specific play, just quick down that edge. But it's 1st and 10 again. They're now near midfield. Oh, the pressure broke away from protection, but able to throw and complete. Scar Patterson, what a play and concentration by the quarterback.
When you get hit, you know it's still going to hurt. But to stand in the crucible, in the fire, and just make a throw like that by Scar Patterson, boom, only one place to put that football. We talked about how he has been hotter than a pistol so far. He's 3rd in the league right now in completion percentage, but that's because we're only counting the first half of the season. In the second half of the season, he's really the top guy.
Absolutely, 65% completion rate in the last 5 games for him. Another completion by Scar Patterson. His QBR is through the roof tonight. Let me get an update on that. Already at 106 QBR, and that's with his 1 touchdown as well.
And what you're doing if you're Josh Duran, you're running this offense right now, you're letting your quarterback just keep clicking it away. Just keep going. Keep this pace up. Don't slow down. Don't let him breathe. Don't let him figure it out. Like, he's on fire right now. It's like that video game. He's on fire! Let him keep on fire and keep moving this football down the field.
Let him cook, as they say.
Let him cook.
Cornerback Merrick Itera was given the crosser route, had trouble defending it. Here's the handoff down the middle, as that's another nice run, this time by Logan Lee, picking up 5 on the first down.
Logan Lee, 3 carries, 8 yards. Now it's going to be 4 for 13. And if you look at the combined total between these two backs, 33 yards and 7 carries, they are hitting the magic number and then some.
He has 253 yards for the season and going to add more tonight, already at 13 yards in 4 attempts. Long of 5. They're going to give this to, I believe that's number 33, Robert Johnson, picking up another run. It's setting up 3rd and 3. No, that is Hubba Kimbrough, but 3rd and 3 means they can do anything. Short pass, run to the outside, whatever you want.
This is a huge statement play for this defense right here. This is going to define the game. This is going to be huge.
Oh, they open wide on the offensive line. Run down the middle is an opening. They run off tackle. The defenders, the safeties get there, but not enough. Pushes through the line, and Logan Lee gets a first down.
Man, he might have got maybe the long end of a credit card over that first down marker. But hey, he knew the assignment, and that's all that it takes. It's a really good job to show that defense that you're not going anywhere.
Offensive line stretching again here. Pitch to the outside to Lee. Lee gets another carry, back-to-back carries. He gets a big play, this time for 7.
Let me tell you, there are times in a football game where you just become a human possessed, where you play above your ability, where you just get locked into a zone. It's like when you shoot the three-pointer and you run back because you know it's going to go in. That's how he's running right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Logan Lee with an insane 2 plays. But how about this defense swarming Hubba Kimbrell, who picks up 0?
Yeah, Max Jackson decided that maybe it's time for him to move the running back the other direction himself. He really went in there and just hit him like a truckload of bad news.
Stuffed him essentially as cover 2. And a rollout in 3rd and 3. Throw to the out route is complete. He finds a man. It's Al DeLapre Sr. giving Scar Patterson his 2nd touchdown of the evening. And Sin City with 13 points in the lead.
It's like that song, too much time on my hands, too much time on Scar Patterson's hands. Immediately breaks the route in, and the quarterback is just not prepared. He's all twisted in the coverage, and DeLapre is just locked in the zone, continuing that all-star season, adding another touchdown to his repertoire this season.
It was a too high safety look, pretty soft on the zone with only a man coverage put on Al DeLapre Sr. Jesse. And you're talking about too much time. How about too much space by Al DeLapre Sr. against his defender? Had about 3 steps against the man coverage on him, and on the out route, that's going to give him the space to make a catch.
Oh yeah, those out routes are all about finesse and timing and footwork.
Well, we'll see if Mexico City can answer back. They are now finding themselves in an 0-14 hole here. Try to climb up a steep hill to start, now that we have 3 minutes left here in the 2nd quarter.
And you have to get something here. You have to think score here if you're Mexico City, because Sin City's getting the ball to start the 2nd half.
It's also been, their drives have not generated plenty of yards, Jesse. They've started at the 41-yard line at their previous drive, but even that did not end up in score for them. So they want to generate more yards here to get the pitch to back. He fumbles it, and the turnover. Sin City recovers in one play. Sin City pushes their dominance as they bring their offense back.
If it's in the country, you pick it up, but if it's in the city, you fall on it. And look at Ray Bentley. This is so uncharacteristic. Look at the stick. All right, the good linebackers get the tackle, but the great linebackers go for the strip. Jay Mart forces the fumble, and then the defensive back with the awareness to just dive on the ground, grab it, and roll on it. Wow, great field position.
That is first fumble forced by Jay Mart, 3rd overall by this defense as a whole. They're going to start with a handoff, a 1-yard gain in the air, well within Mexico City's side of the field here for points.
And this is where, as a coach, you kind of have to get your offense to kind of calm down a little bit here, because that was such a big play. You want them to be excited, but you also don't want them to get tunnel vision. Stick to what's working.
We'll see what Scar Patterson decides to do here. He's got his 2 running backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers and tight end. It's going to be a delayed handoff. That is, I believe, Lee once again. The tackle will be for a 2-yard gain.
And there's nothing wrong with running it again, even if you only get 2 yards out of it. 3rd and 7 is not entirely bad here, because you were doing a great job passing the football. Look at this 4-quad set.
Honus Odobe as the halfback in the backfield might be a passing threat out of the backfield. Rolling out, Odobe will stay to block. The pass is out there. Pressure despite the pressure. He throws another one to Al DeLapre Sr.
DeLapre, football for DeLapre. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Right off. See, he tried to jam him, and he just pushed right off of Jared Brody to take advantage of that mismatch and get another catch.
That will bring us to our 2-minute warning, 120 seconds in the first half to go here. Folks, you're watching the Simulation Football League in the Virtual Football Network. We have potentially a a shocking game if Sin City can extend their lead to 21 or even to 17 here. They're gonna hand this ball off. Logan Lee will pick up 3 yards down the middle and setting up 2nd and 7.
My heart is racing right now. And if your heart is racing too, I can understand why. So far, Mexico City has had no answers for this offense.
Are you sure your heart's not racing because of the 24-pack Red Bull you've been drinking all day?
Maybe a little bit of that too. I think the science does support it.
That it gives you wings?
Of course.
Has that worked for you yet?
Well, I wanted to try like that guy on the motorcycle, but then I said,
Scar Patterson will roll out on 3rd down. He completes again. Oh my goodness. How about Scar Patterson with 3 touchdowns? He finds his, that's number 15 again for Sin City. Really quick passing and scoring. Kenny Hendricks with touchdown number 2.
3 receptions on 3 targets for 2 scores. They have done, this offensive line has done such a phenomenal job of picking up these blitzes and stopping these pass rushers who are some of the best in the game. Oh, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I mean, how hard that is to do?
You know what? I might have to agree with you on that one. Jesse, I know that you're a man of many words, many intelligent words, and if you're going to be caught speechless, then I myself don't know what to say. I will add, though, you're talking about how well they've been protecting Scar Patterson, Jesse. We were talking about this prior to the game. Scar Patterson has been sacked a total of 17 times in the season in 8 games, so that's an average of approximately 2 sacks per game, Jesse. Tonight, against Mexico City, who's only sacked 11 times all season long, perhaps it's a chance for them to give Scar some time in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. And, go on another tangent that's also very relevant. So far, Mexico City, you know how many passing yards they have had in this game?
Tell me.
4.
Ooh.
Everything but the thumb. They have completely shut down this passing game. They said you can have the run, but they have shut them down throwing the football.
They line up in bunch here, and they're going to run out of it here with a few minutes left. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go here in the first half, and by the nature of how calm they are, they just might head to the halftime down 0-21.
Honestly, I think that if you're Ramos Lynn and you're Mike Daggs, you have to just kneel the ball out here and go in the second half and come up with a different game plan.
They will throw, though. Jordan Sipe looks for a man, finds time, but not able to find the target. Incomplete again for Sipe, who is now 1 for 6.
Well, remember, with 39 seconds left, I mean, this is the SFL, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can score on one play, right? Especially with a team like Mexico City. So let's not discount anything yet.
Especially after Ray Bentley last week scored a touchdown in one play to win them in a walk-off in overtime.
64 yards. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his long of the season, too. Throw the outside is complete. Let's throw it to the tight end. Bill Henry with a catch.
Well, this is where you have to be careful, as if you're Josh Starr here and you're making the game plan on this defense. You're trying to tell your defense, like, okay, we have to protect the goal line, but let's also not give up anything. Mexico City is a team that plays you for all 4 quarters and beyond. That's why they're back-to-back champs.
The bunch look again. They've run out of this, but they might want to pass soon if they want to get downfield for any points. They will. Step back by Jordan Sipe. He's going to complete a pass. Finally finds Terrazas for the first time tonight.
And this is one of those times where, you Mike Daggs, that you've got a lot of space out there and pockets to throw the football into, because they got to fight a war on 2 fronts. They got to protect that field goal range so they don't give up anything, but they got to protect the goal line so they don't give up all of it. So this is actually beneficial to you.
At the 36-yard line of Sin City now. They're going to throw again. Jordan Sipe will throw to the left side. Incomplete. Hit and almost picked off. Intended target is Terrazas. Last catch was actually his second, and so he's going to miss the first target his way.
thought he had it too. When we look at the second quarter here, now notice they're just starting to do at least a little bit of passing here, and now you see how different this offense is when they can throw the ball to some degree.
Yeah, and Jordan Side, an all-star quarterback from last season. Surprised that they have been slow to rely on him this game, but he's going to throw again, incomplete, 3rd and 10.
I think what you're seeing is frustration. I mean, you're on the road, you're going against an opponent, and man, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on here. I'm about as confused right now as this offense appears to be. They don't seem to have any answers.
The only people not confused.
That's an answer.
Well, they do find the answer. I was about to say the only people not confused is the Sin City coaching crew, as they have worked their magic on defense, but Mexico City, especially Jordan Sipe, will make a completion and put them in field goal range.
I know you're the play-by-play guy, and I was excited.
No, that's fine. I mean, you see that happen, Jesse. It gets everyone excited.
Oh, yeah.
First down now as Sin City sent forward on the rush, and the end zone incomplete. He had a man there, but there were just 4 black uniforms.
Bill, you got to pull it down. Tight end, big frame, 257. In those moments, you just got to hold on to it with everything you got.
Well,
That's
silver
tough.
lining is that they're going to go for a field goal here.
And
it goes in barely as it is. I think, Jesse, if you're a Mexico City fan, your heart rate through the roof. That kick swerved all the way to the left, almost missed the field goal entirely.
Yeah, I think there's a little chunk of yellow paint just on the side of the laces. That barely got in there.
We got 7 seconds left in the clock here. If you're enjoying this game so far, please like the video. I'll say it again, like this video. Please support our hardworking crew by smashing the like button, subscribing, and commenting on the video. It really helps the channel out. Turn notifications on so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network and of the SFL. 7 seconds to go. They decide to hand it off, and folks, that's the end of the first half. Wow, what a dominating half by Sin City so far.
Yeah, it absolutely has. And, it's, you get so caught up in the magic sometimes that it's really hard to find, like, where the problem is when the problem's really everything. I mean, it's, they've played so well on the other side of the ball. You can do a lot better if you look at Sin City and how they've executed as opposed to Mexico City and how they haven't. Like the fumble by Ray Bentley. They grabbed that in field position. They made a touchdown off of that. They have found ways that even though they got to play the punting, tug of war battle back and forth a couple of times, they have been able to, when they can keep Scar Patterson upright and on his feet and give him time to throw, he's extremely efficient. And in a world of giant chunk plays where everything's 70, 80, 90-yard play of the weeks, if you can get an efficient quarterback, 134.3 on the day, that's a heck of a rating. When you get efficiency, deadly mechanic machine efficiency, you will end up finding the end zone and finding it a lot.
And that is exactly what has happened for Sin City. Up 21-3, all 3 scores off of a touchdown by Scar Patterson. What a night he's had so far. At one point in this ball game, he was 6 for 12, 50%, and 1 touchdown. Since then, he's gone 5 for 5 and 2 more touchdowns. You are watching the Simulation Football League here in the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mark Lopez, play-by-play commentator. We have Jesse Long on stats. We have Rochelle Colston and Ron Haynes, and Cameron Irvine is producing this ball game. Go ahead, Jesse.
Absolutely. And, another part that's also helping the Sin City offense do better is that Al Dillapre Sr. is not their only way of moving the ball. Hendricks is making catches, Talon Steele is making catches, but their running backs are also performing really well. Robert Johnson's got 5.5 yards of carry. Logan Lee is getting 3.3. They are running hard and they are running mean.
Well, they had the ball back to start the second half. They're going to pitch the weak side here, and not a lot to gain, actually. They gained 3 yards in what could have been 0. That's number 41, Logan Lee again.
And that is so dynamically changing for your offense. If you get hit at the line of scrimmage and you can just chug out another 3 yards, even another 2 yards, it completely changes the dynamic of your next play call.
But Kimbrell will get the pitch too. Will also get 3 yards. So it's 3rd and 4 to go. 3rd and medium. They might throw it here, but we'll see.
Hubba Kimbrell, every time you get in there, you got to make your opportunities happen. And it's good to see him going in there and still continuing to be a contributor. First season with the Sin City Samurai, but 9 seasons in the league. Former Atlanta Swarm player.
Carl Patterson will roll out, will throw down the middle, complete. Talk about 3rd down efficiency there. Now 7 for 9. They were 6 for 8 in the first half, and he completes the first 3rd down here in the second half.
You know, and what's causing it to happen is what we call the silent warriors, the offensive line, just giving him all that time that he needs to find those gaps in the seam. I mean, you know, this zone defense is not appearing to work right now, but also the man defense isn't working either because they're pushing right off the coverage. Like, just keep hitting them while they're confused.
You gotta credit Scar Patterson for the gutsy throw. He threw over Osiris, who has 3 interceptions. What is that guy doing?
Oh.
His arms are wide open. Put your hands together and get the catch.
Oh. Talon Steele has to be very thankful that that didn't turn out a heck of a lot worse, because that was a tip drill. That was a duck. It's like that old game. That was a duck waiting to be shot down.
They're talking about duck hunt or whatever that game, the old school shooter. You're like a hunter shooting ducks. Okay.
The one gun that was like.
I don't know why I thought of Duck Duck Goose, which made 0 sense in this context. But Scar Patterson puts the context of him being one of the better quarterbacks, the better quarterback tonight.
Behold, Kenny Hendricks. That's going to be his 4th catch. And so far, he is flawless. 4th target, 4th reception. Man. Look at that. And they're going to get it right on the 30-yard line. They're just moving the ball at will. And Mexico City, once again, just doesn't seem to have any answers, but it's not too late here. They can set up a field goal, force a turnover, but they have to make a big play here right now.
They're going to start with a strong side run here. Logan Lee picking up another 3 yards. That's not Logan Lee. That is these running backs. It's Robert Johnson, but the way they spread the ball out as far as carries go, they keep the defense guessing.
And the worst part is Jordan Sipe staying there on the sideline and just pacing and wanting to get in there, and he's powerless to only watch and hope his defense gets him the football back.
Heavy look again by Sin City. 2nd and 7 at the 27-yard line of Mexico. They give this to Robert Johnson, and he sets them up for a 3rd and 1. Oh, that's Himbrell again.
That's Himbrell again. And what's causing this to happen is that they're not just running one way. They're not just running one type of way. They're mixing up the ways that they run to try to create these one-on-ones so that they can capitalize and move the football down the field.
Weak side run. In. Stop. They say it's a 1st down, but there I'd say it's short of the yard to gain.
We'll have to see what Ramos Lynn does and see if he throws out the red hanky. There it is.
Ramos Lynn is definitely off the same mind. That is short. I don't know if you saw the same thing I did, Jesse. He was just not even close.
Yeah, he looked short on that one, and he didn't even look like the football was anywhere close. I mean, he just gets blasted on the play here. Right here comes the linebacker to just fill the hole, John Fowler. John Fowler is a big, scary dragon. Yeah, you're not getting past that.
And John Fowler, absolutely, he makes a great play. He comes all the way from middle of the field to make an outside of the field tackle. What a play by him. As ruling is overturned, we are all right except for the referees initially. 4th and maybe inches, but still, Mexico City force a field goal instead of potentially another touchdown drive.
You know, and that is a much bigger impact than it looks on the score sheet because it keeps you within 3 touchdowns. It makes it a manageable game. Remember, this Mexico City team can turn this game around, and that's good.
Field goal is good.
Yeah, they can turn this around. This is the team that plays 4 quarters, but the clock right now is starting to decide whose team it's on, and the clock is not on the side of Mexico City. They got to start moving this football here.
Right, and it is tough to do it if they try to stick with, their strength, at least so far, has been the ground game with Ray Bentley early on in the first quarter, Jesse, if you remember, breaking away for 10 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards here and there. But if you keep on him, the clock won't be your friend.
And what's causing it to happen is that right now, if you look at the sack column, it's empty for Sim City. But Jordan Sipe is 4 for 12 right now. He is seeing shadows.
You're seeing shadows. Maybe the receivers as well are hearing footsteps on their route. They're going to give this on the handoff down to Bentley. See, Bentley is picking 4 yards, pretty healthy amount. But it might be too slow for the amount of points they are down by, Jesse. What do you think?
Well, it's really kind of too slow. And then also, it's not really going to help them any if they run for 4 yards and then they throw and they don't get anywhere with it. So they have to be able to start getting Jordan Sipe to make completions.
They give it to Van Dam, fumbles. Van Dam turns it over. How about 2 turnovers by their running backs? Mexico City is forcing fumbles like it's taking candy from a baby.
Evan Lacey will get credit with falling on it. No, the falling on it was done by Kanye Rockefeller. 20 seasons in the SFL. Just in the right place at the right time. Season 24 Special Player of the Year. Special Teams Player of the Year. It's Player of the Season. That means that he knows how to fall on that ball when it hits the ground. Great
Coach
play.
Mike Daggs, great play indeed as Sin City pick up 2 yards. Coach Mike Daggs on the sideline scratching his head saying, Dios mío, what am I watching?
Good Lord.
It's tough.
Well, you know what it is that they made a bet, right? They've got a really strong defensive front. So they decided we're just going to run with the front and we're going to keep all our big dragons in the back and hit Bentley with every chance we get and get him to fumble the football. And they're capitalizing on those turnovers.
Another weak side pitch run. Oh, Logan Lee breaks out of one, but a huge hit provided, brings him down. It's a no-yard gain. Osiris with the huge hit.
And this is the part. There's so many tackles between these players. John Fowler's got 6, and Walton Leo also has 6, and Jackson has 7, and Daggs has 5. But the problem that we have here is that they're tackling them after they do something cool with the football that's really good for them.
Patterson will break away, will finally get brought down. The first sack against Carr Patterson will negate the third down. How about that, Jesse? Number 99, Skylar Kingsley with the play.
That is what championship teams do. They come up with big plays when they need them. Oh, man. And he broke the first one, which is hard to do because the guy's 320 pounds. But you couldn't run away from the other guy who's also 320 pounds.
Your goal is up and good. Yeah, it's hard, Jesse. Even if you assume you can break away from that first tackler, he would be gassed by that point because he had to shed the weight of a, mammoth of a man, only to be faced by another mammoth of a man. So
right. Like, I'm 320 myself, but my 40, I get about 30 yards into it, and I say, you know what, I'll finish this later. I got dishes to not do, and YouTube videos to watch, SFL games to watch again.
Hey, man, there's one particular Jesse Fretz in the minor league, though, who is doing really well as a running back, I heard.
He really is, but he's a terrible roommate. Trying to get him to clean up and exercise.
Well, we'll see if Mexico City here can, turn things around here. As motioning a receiver, Sin City showing man as they adjust with the receivers or with their defenders as well. It's a pitch to the weak side where the vacated defender has left, and it's a gain of 4 yards again. What do you think about that play?
And go back to the well, but you kind of see this is what they're counting on here. They're counting on just breaking Bentley away, right? It's kind of like those breakaways where in hockey you're down by 3 goals. So your attempt or goal per se is to get that player on a breakaway one-on-one with the goalie, but it's just not happening tonight.
Throw down the middle. He had it, man. He had Terrazas, Jesse, and Terrazas, I don't know if he wasn't looking or wasn't expecting the ball.
And another drop. 5 for Noah, and he's only caught 2. I mean, this has been the story of the entire night. You know, if Jordan Sipe, instead of going 4 for 13, goes even 9 for 13, this is a different ball game.
Absolutely. Throw outside, incomplete. Great coverage and defense by Sin City, who has been on another level tonight. That's number 26, Terrence Pearson on coverage.
That is such tight coverage on that, too. Nowhere to go with it. And he saw the receiver out there. And sometimes as a quarterback, you go like, okay, it's a toss-up ball, and we need a big play here. I'm going to throw it. But, yeah, nothing materialized.
Dan Tritz on chat puts it really well, as Mexico City are all out of sorts tonight on both ends, defense and offense. There's one spark with a sack on defense earlier in the previous drive, Jesse, but outside of that, it seems like it's been all Sin City.
Yeah, it really has all been Sin City. And if you look at the last 10 passes by Scar Patterson, only 3 incompletions, and 2 of them have been for touchdowns. Like, he is just seeing the football field anywhere and everywhere all at once tonight.
Motioning a receiver from right to left for Scar Patterson. Play clock goes down to 5. He's going to roll out. Pressure's coming. Throws against his body. Almost picked. He almost throws the first interception by either quarterback.
You know, and if you're Ramos, Lynn, you got your hands on both knees and you are looking down at the ground right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing players that could make a huge play and change the landscape of the game, and they're just not following through.
I look here for Scar Patterson there at their 33-yard line. They're going to give it to Logan Lee. Has a nice open space. Spins out of 1 tackle. How about this play? He gets 8 yards in 1 carry.
Well, let me tell you, if you're going to beat Mexico City, we always talked about playing 4 quarters and continuing to play very well. And what's making it happen is that Logan Lee is just running so effortlessly tonight. You know, he had 253 yards going into the season, but tonight he has just been making every single opportunity count for big yards.
He's now averaging 3.2 after averaging less than 3 earlier this game. Oh, they get a first down, and what seemed like a traffic jam. That's Robert Johnson with the play.
Well, you know, just keep the chains moving. Only needed about 3 yards to make that happen. He's averaging 4.5 himself. So that's all you need, so just focus on getting that. You know, you don't have to get the home run ball. You can just get a single, you can get another single, you can get another single, and another one's a run anyway.
The late handoff here, that's a gain of 1 yard. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I know it's a little turning into a little bit of a route here, but if you are still with us, thank you. On chat, I see Joshua Durr, Fowler, Bo Martin Jr., Dan Tritz, Logan Lee. Everyone in chat, thank you for joining us tonight. This is the Simulation Football League in the Virtual Football Network. Sin City is up 27-3 on second down. They pitch it to Robert Johnson, who picks up another couple of yards. It's 3rd and 7 now.
And you have to remember, we're not outside of miracle territory. 3 touchdowns, all with 2-pointers, makes this a tie ball game. Because on every side of a miracle is a meltdown. We could still have one of those. So Sin City has to stay focused here.
They have to force this 3rd down completion, but they cannot. Sin City stay on the field. Their numbers on 3rd down are insane. They are now 9 for 14 and 3 for 6 in the second half.
You know, you can look at the numbers on the season for Dillapre, but every time I do, I just look at the numbers from today. He's just been so consistent and on fire all throughout the season. That's his 8th reception. He's now over the century mark with a score as well.
Great stuff for him and the entire offense tonight, as they're now finding themselves at the 33-yard line, just a few yards away from field goal range. They will give it to Lee. Lee, oh my goodness, he almost had a first down. He does. They say he gets 10 in one play, and Logan Lee, this might be a night of nights to remember for him.
Well, this is one of those times where the defense has to say, okay, this game is not over, but you are now in turnover territory. Every single point is going to matter here. I'm of the school of thought that a game's not over until it hits all zeros. But right now, for that to happen, Mexico City's defense has to get the ball back. They can't give up any points.
Lee is now the third player with over 50 yards offensively for the Sin City crew. This handoff, the first tackle for loss against Rojo, he's going to pick up -1 yards.
Yeah, this has just been the story of the night. You know, they'll occasionally stop them at the line of scrimmage or even force them a yard back. But then they just give up the 10-yarder, the 15-yarder. One step forward, two steps back.
Two tight end look, gonna throw for Scar Patterson down the middle. Caught and under duress. Three people in the vicinity. Talon still says, give me that.
You know, Scar Patterson right now must be like, his vision must look like the Terminator. You know, everything's black and white and blue, and there's like a little red reticle, and he knows exactly when to fire the trigger and put the pass in. He is just absolutely seeing everything. I don't know.
Which model of the T800, perhaps?
Maybe the T1000. Like, you can make yourself like a cup of coffee anytime, just out of your hand. That'd be useful.
I mean, with the protection they're giving him, he might as well be able to do that. As Robert Johnson picks up, let's say, 3 yards, it's now 2nd and goal with 4 to go.
And I wish you could see how just I'm smiling right now, not for the plight of what's happening, but there's no explanation.
No, they say he got it. They say that the tackle in midair will give Hubba Kimbrell the touchdown. Unbelievable.
So the ball carrier technically was the linebacker on the play. Because, okay, they're going to challenge it.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure about this. If the ruling is the player has to cross the plane or the ball has to cross the plane.
Well,
we'll
I mean,
see what the referee will have to think about it.
Depends. I mean, it looks like we were using WWE rules when he ran with that football. I mean, look at this. Max Jackson just picks him up. I mean, I'd be mad too. You know, he just slammed him into the core of the earth, and it's overturned.
It will be overturned.
So, will be overturned.
But it's inches. The ball might as well be on the line right now, as a certain Gerald Smith likes to say. You can even see the blue and yellow lines are essentially on top of each other.
Oh, that would make them green lines or bleen. It really looks more like a translucent lemonade.
Look at
I'd have to say.
That ball, the center snaps it. It's technically a touchdown. Handoff. Can he get there? Yes.
Yeah, he got this time.
Officially.
Oh, yeah, Hubba Kimbrell. He's not going to be denied this time. And all they needed was the short side of a credit card to get there. This has just been nothing but the Sin City Samurai show. You know, when you think about it, the etymology of the word war means to bring into a state of confusion. And between these two warriors, it looks like the Aztecs have been brought fully into a state of confusion at all levels. This is just one of those games where, you know, Ramos Lynn and Mike Daggs and the whole team are just they're gonna take a football and they go, this was the game that we played last week against Sin City, and they're just gonna bury it in the ground and just, you gotta let it go. I mean, you know, it's the old like wastebasket that, you know, you put the playbook in before you set it on fire. This is just one of those days, you know, and I'm not here to beat up on Mexico City. Great people, great staff, great crowd, great team. Yeah. But for this Sin City squad to be so outmatched on paper and come in here and just dominate them in every single facet at home. And let's not forget how competitive this season is in terms of the playoffs. Right? I mean,
and the standings as well.
Right. Mexico City's not only going to go 5-4. Sin City's going to go 5-4. Take us into the fourth, sir.
Yep, that is the end of the third quarter. One final frame to go. Sin City with the heavy lead here will just need to take care of business up 34-3. Put your 4s on the board, your 12s, 86s, and your 68s. But I just wanted to add to what you're talking about here, Jesse. You talk about how much Mexico City has looked bad tonight, but I also want to give credit to this Sin City coaching crew. Head coach, despite Joshua Durr being listed as head coach, actual head coach is Zach Benjamin, working solo for the most part in Sin City. He has been he's been putting incredible work on their playbooks, as you can see the net result here on the scoreboard, Jesse. He did it on defense, the scouting he puts on against Mexico City, and this is a playbook that Mexico City has run all season long.
Got you. Absolutely. And no, big snacks.
Well, probably, you don't want to see anyone go down, but you're up 34-3. Next man up, protect the lead.
Absolutely. And that's the old mentality, the good old next man up. You have to keep doing that, and you have to really make sure that step in, step up, and make the most of your opportunities in the league.
Big Snacks is on the defensive lines. Perhaps some running opportunities here for Ray Bentley will open up. Only 3 are showing on the defensive line, but they will rush 5. Bentley spins out of 1. Can he get there? No. Oh, man, he had a chance, but a quick recovery by the safeties of Sin City. That is number 21, King Jamal, the strong safety on the tackle.
Slow to get up. He's been taking a share of lickings and stickings. I mean, don't be wrong. That's every day at the office for Ray Bentley, but especially today, it's even tougher this go around.
Jordan Sipe gets the first out on the quarterback sneak. What a play by him.
Absolutely, man. He just really, you got to focus as much as you can on, at this point, just really trying to save face. And try some stuff out, see what'll work. You may end up seeing them again come playoff time when it's a completely different animal, and it's all about just winning one at a time. So you just have to kind of go out there, see what you can do. I know at the end of the day, everybody wants to go home, but there's something that you can take away from every game. There's something you keep doing in every game, even if it's at this point, to improve your situation in the future. Because Mexico City, if the season ends today, is still playoff bound.
Yeah, I mean, you're down 31 points, but really every play counts as far as the overall scheme of the playoffs, as Terrazas catches a catch for a loss. Every play, the result will go back to your film and your analysis and gives you a better idea of what your eventual identity will be in the playoffs. Perhaps Mexico City, you said, are outmatched, perhaps out game planned, but I wouldn't say out of it entirely. I think they are still a good team.
No, you can never count out the defending champs until proven otherwise. There's some teams that, maybe they have a bad week in the regular season. Maybe they don't have the best regular season, but they get into the playoffs and they flick a switch and they just turn it on and become a completely different animal. And never forget that about this Mexico City squad. If you walk in there, breathing in the smell of your own fumes, you could very easily find yourself in a lot of trouble when it's time for the real season.
Again, folks, thank you for joining us tonight here in Sin City versus Mexico City. On chat, I can see on chat we got a newcomer. His name is unknown on chat. Hopefully he is still on chat. But if you are still on chat, we are the SFL. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simfl.net. Click the join the community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. And for everyone else in chat, again, thank you. I'm Mark Lopez. With me is Jesse Fretz. On stats is Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston. How about Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston, Jesse? Their stat tracking tonight has been on point. Ron has been off by maybe only 3 yards in any player.
Oh yeah, absolutely dead on accurate. And the beauty of the stats team is that we always like to say they're like mission control and we're like the astronauts. It doesn't mean that we're cooler, it doesn't mean that we have better looking hair, and it doesn't mean that we're more charismatic. But we need mission control to keep us alive, to keep the systems operational. If we don't know what to do and we don't have the right people on the ground, the goal is to put a man on the moon and return him safely to the earth. And the stat team allows it to happen for the broadcast team. Without them, we can't put on the quality broadcasts that the Simulation Football League is known for here on the Virtual Football Network.
Absolutely. But how about Mexico forcing a rare third down incompletion against Sin City? Although, to be fair, Sin City is now in clock burning mode, so they've been on the ground. So Scar Patterson, his third down magicry is less on display right now.
I'm checking through the stats right now here, and I think that since that first score they have, that might be the first time they've punted the football back to Mexico City.
I'll double check it. You're right. They have the only other they've had a total of 3 punts, and the possession that ended the half, that is their third punt that we've seen them. Everything else has been scored.
Yeah, ever since their second TD, all they kept doing was just finding ways to score the football. They just kept hitting pay dirt.
Also made easier, Jesse, by the 2 fumbles that have found themselves in scoring range to start the drive.
Oh, that definitely helps too, and capitalizing on those turnovers. What makes you win football games is when you take those mistakes and you make them absolutely pay for every single one of them.
That is that stat for them is 10 points off of turnovers, 2 turnovers forced against Mexico City. On the other hand, Mexico City's defense has not forced a turnover in a span of 3 quarters and a half.
And also, those turnovers, where they happened and how they happened, also was such a powerful dynamic.
He's going to get hit initially behind the line of scrimmage. The rest of the defenders clean him up, and it's 4th and 7. I don't think they're going to go for it here, but that looked rough.
Man, they really are the stars. That's what makes football, that's what makes the SFL, that's what makes the VFN so good. That, you're talking about something else, and suddenly you see these playmakers just do something on the field that just makes you stop everything you're doing and drop your jaw and just start watching.
The punt, it's going to go into the end zone. So even the punting gods have nothing to give for Mexico City. It's a touchback. Sin City will start at their 20-yard line.
Well, punters are the true Chads. If there was a special forces of football, it would be punters. They'd be standing there with their arms crossed and, knowing that punters are truly the creme de la creme, the truly athlete, the elite athlete among SFL players.
I thought you were going to say the e-athlete, which refers to the esports athletes, a different category of athletes themselves. But we're back on the field here with Sin City. I think we're just going to have a heavy dose of running here between the 3 superstar running backs. 2nd and 8 at their 22-yard line. They line up with 4 receivers here. Interesting. They might still run it, though. They will. Run down the middle. He spins out of one defender, but into the arms of 2 other defenders.
Sometimes you move the line and sometimes the line moves you. I mean, being a running back in this business is not easy. I mean, sometimes you just have to go, okay, well, looks like we're going somewhere now. Where it stops, nobody knows.
He just got taken for a ride. 3rd and 5 now. Heavy set again. Will Scar throw finally? No. He hands it off. And they force another punt. We might be pinned to 34-3 until the clock hits 0-0.
Yeah, 34-3. I'm definitely going to go out on a limb and say that a lot of people didn't see that score happening here this evening. Man, this one's tough. This one's tough. I think that if there's anything to be taken away from Mexico City, it's the understanding that when you get to the playoffs, look, I get it. You're probably not going to get home field. The top of the league table is cannibalizing itself right now. It just has decided to declare nuclear warfare on itself. Like, it has no plans on, it just plans on leaving behind only survivors, not victors. But the bottom of the league table is just winning and winning and winning. And I think that's what's so powerful about this system right here. And as, Sin City demonstrated here, this could happen again. If you beat them in the regular season, you're Zach Benjamin, you can go up to your squad and say, we can get him again. Look at how we got him last time.
Disciples throw and almost throws a pick here. That's a good point, Jesse. You're talking about the bottom of the league surging. I mean, at one point, Sin City started 0-3, and by many people's accounts, might as well have been the worst team to start the season, but look at where they are now. After this win, they will have gone 5 for their last 6 and looking like one of the top teams. I mean, at what point do you say that the bottom teams are actually the top teams?
Yeah, and this is also another big factor because it plays.
Bill Henry with a catch there. Oh, Bill Henry's down. Not a good time. Oh, man. Well, as we look at this injury, we'll have time to look at the game update from Cam over at Vancouver. What you got, Cam?
Thank you, Mark. This score happened over half an hour ago. It's the last score we've had in the game. Christian Brown to Nick Lockett all the way to the end zone. It's a tight one in the fourth quarter in Vancouver. 14-10 Legion. We'll see you when you're done in Las Vegas. Back to you.
You got a tight game there. The exact opposite of this ball game. Probably all the points and parity sucked up out of this ball game. His disciple throw to the outside, picked off his first interception, and what a wonderful one-handed catch. Oh my goodness.
Man,
Jesse, come back to me.
I'm just thinking about tiebreakers at this point, because that's what this game could very well be. So Chicago won today. They're going to go to 5-5. But Sin City won against Chicago. So they're going to have that tiebreaker against them. Vancouver is going up against DC. So that's going to be determining a tiebreaker between them. What's really making the season so competitive is the tie-breaking possibilities we have to determine who's going to be able to sleep in their own bed on game day and drive their own car and know which tunnel to walk through and not get lost on their way to the locker room. So every single one of these games coming up is going to be so critical for jockeying for position in the playoff race, because there's no easy path to a championship, but there is a much easier path through home.
Absolutely. Well, 2nd and 12 here as the game winds down. Sin City will take their time. They're going to give this handoff. A 2-yard gain on that play. Jeffrey Daggs with a tackle. As the clock keeps ticking in Sin City on their way to win number 5. They're going to move up the standings. Mexico City trying to chase Houston in the South Division, sorry. Houston, who are on an 8-game win streak, Jesse, an incredible record by that team. And Mexico City fall to 6-3 after that.
Yeah, and it's so, and one trend I'm noticing with a lot of teams, especially your top level teams, is their strength of defeats. So, they're losing to the tough ones, and we're going into the final 2 minutes here. But I mean, it's just such a competitive. It's one of those playoff races where you let the games play out and just see where the chips fall at this point. Because if you're a fan, you go like, okay, well, we got 2 games left, and if we win these 2 games, no one is doing that this season. Every game is going to be so tight and compact and matters so deeply to the standings.
As some of you might know, there are a lot of former Las Vegas Fury members on the Mexico City team. 5 are still there with Mexico, in fact. And this is their first trip back to Vegas since the Fury folded. These custom uniforms basically match the away uniforms used by the Fury in their final season. And, hopefully, Coach Dak was hoping that if Mexico City were the ones taking kneel downs, all 5 Fury members would be in the kneel down formation. That is not the case here. Those 5 players are Ova Yunda at center, Max Jackson at quarterback, not at quarterback, but he would be the one taking the quarterback in the kneel down. Merrick Itera, John Osiris, and Jacob Morrison, all formerly of the Las Vegas Fury. Jordan Sipe will line up with their quads look. Totally outside is complete. That is a gain of 5 yards.
It is really great to see throwbacks to the league here. This has been 26 seasons. I mean, that's not chump change. That's history. That is blood, sweat, and tears. It's trials and tribulations. It's, getting through it when the times were tough, and there were times when the times were tough for everybody in the league, players, coaches, staff, our commissioner, Cameron. Just so many people connected to this league, people that I haven't met, Matt Wilson, people that have just, given their all to make this league the best in the world at, what we do, and to make the Virtual Football Network the premier destination for the kind of football that we play. And, here's for, it's not rainbows and butterflies, it's compromise that moves us along. And here's to, I always say, if I live to be 100, I hope there's an SFL when I'm 100.
Same here. Well, Sin City will force a 2nd and 10. Man, this clock, Mexico City is really prolonging this clock. This game has been over 15 minutes ago.
Well, I remember watching the pregame show with the Matt Wilson pregame show with Mike and Gerald, and they showed the standings for the playoffs. And I think going into this, Mexico City, I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure I'm close, might have been 5th in those overall standings with 6 wins. And there are so many 4-win teams that are not only on the back end of those seeds, but also on the outside looking in. There is a chance that, being 500 or even having a winning record at this point might have you on the outside looking in. So it really has been one of the most competitive seasons that we've seen in so long.
I mean, prior to this week, there was not a single team that have clinched the playoffs. Can you believe it? Even if you had 8-1 Houston coming into this week, mathematically, they haven't clinched the playoffs because the lowest ranked team has only 4 losses to their name, which means, Houston can lose all their games and miss the playoff. Maybe mathematically they can still make the playoffs, but that's how close parity is in the league.
Well, the standings going on right now, like you said, before the games that have been played, like this one here in Chicago and their victory this week, just earlier, there's only, out of the 23 teams, only 7 of them have less than 4 victories. So, I mean, that's just an incredible stat line to see. That not only every piece of real estate is going to count. If you lose, even as a 4-win team, you are still going to be possibly in it. And then when you look at the overall record, right, 8-1 Houston, 2 7-win teams, 3 6-win teams, and then a whole bunch of teams that are in that 5-4 and even 1 3 and 5 win bracket. But their game, that's Fort Worth. They're going to fall 3-6 this week. But it's just a really amazing season to be part of, especially as a rookie broadcaster. I mean, very rarely do you get to kind of be part of one of the most exciting seasons. And, people say that every year, right? This is the most exciting season ever. This is an exception. Like everybody in this has been saying it all year. I've been hearing from people all year. And, what we've got going on here is listen, It's going to be a ride. All right, the playoff. You think it's fun now? Wait until the playoffs. It's going to get really fun.
Absolutely. Well, folks, Sunday, a SFL 4-pack of games gets started with Carolina and Charleston, and one of the best rivalries in the SFL right now. Plus, Los Angeles, Oklahoma City, Pittsburgh, Albuquerque, and Houston, Lexington. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network. And the final timeout called here by Mexico City. Sin City with the final kneel down of the game. Man, what a ball game. Do you have a, you might have talked about this already, Jesse, but who would be your player of the ball game?
You know, honestly, it's the player of the ball game, of course, is Scar Patterson, with just how efficient he was. And that was made possible by a great offensive line. I love to give offensive linemen and line ladies their flowers whenever I can. El Volt, Jackson Burrito, line lady Rose Steele, and Adam Chance kept Scar Patterson upright all day long, protected against those blitzes, and he was able to just keep feeding his receivers the football. He was just lights out tonight. He couldn't miss. 15 for 23 with 3 scores, not a single interception. There were a couple of times where it happened because somebody didn't drop the football. But also, let's not forget the linebacking core of Sin City, forcing all those fumbles. You know, that's another place where I'd give a game ball too. You know, I like to give game balls in groups. But also don't forget Al Dilpree Sr. Just another fan. Absolutely.
I'm going to give my game ball to Scar Patterson as well. His incredible third down magicry was incredible, but that is Sin City winning 34-3 against Mexico City. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have a game ongoing at Vancouver. Go hurry up to that one. Seems like a close one over there. We got a couple games, more games coming up tomorrow. But for me and Jesse Long and Ron Haynes and Rochelle Colston, that is it for us. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. See ya.
You got it.